This week's episode, we're going to be tackling the topic on dressing for success. Matter of fact, there was a BBC article that I was fortunate enough to lend comments to entitled, Does Dressing for Success Still Matter? And the article was written by Joe York, who is a great journalist. If you haven't had an opportunity to check out some of her work, just Google Joe York, check her out on Twitter. She does great work. But the premise is because so many offices have now switched to remote or hybrid, and we've just kind of been exhausted with these past 2 to 3 years of living and working within a pandemic. There's been a bit of a realignment of what we think is professional dress or what we require as professional dress. And that begs the question, does dressing for success still matter? Is that still a thing? And what you'll find in the article are a few perspectives on it. But I wanted to share mine as well as invite you to share your thoughts on this article too. Because my thing is that people are always looking for your professional brand. They want to see your professional brand or your personal brand, how you show up to work every day, your commitment, your work ethic. And part of that is your attire. And so while I don't think that everyone should be pressured to, or anyone rather should be pressured to, get an expensive outfit or do something that is going to put them in debt financially, always keeping suits dry cleaned or getting new shoes every month or anything like that that's going to be an extraordinary expense. I do think that it's important for you to, if you want to be a leader, if you want to progress in your career, that you should take some necessary steps to show that you are committed to what I consider to be self-discipline. And so self-discipline is the idea of maintaining appearance, maintaining your emotions, maintaining your work ethic, and your ability to be a self-starter. And that manifests in many ways, but it also manifests in how you dress. So I can give you another thing to think about too, and that's just this intersection of your perception and how people receive you, and then your personal brand. So my personal brand, I often say that I am the skinny jeans CEO, or I believe that you can be comfortable and sharp at work. And so I may wear a formal top, but nowadays you'll see me in slim jeans, or joggers even, or slacks that have a tapered cut, and sneakers. But not just any sneakers. They're either luxury sneakers or classic sneakers that I've kept really clean. And it's all because as a modern, young or youngish CEO, I want to show people that you can be successful and you don't have to wear a suit every day, or you can accomplish a lot and be invited into rooms and you don't have to wear a suit every day. However, though, that with that being my personal brand, I also have to keep in mind of perception. And so perception is people's thoughts or opinions or judgments about you. And whenever I'm attending a conference, or if I am going to a networking event, or if I am, an invited guest somewhere or a speaker somewhere, I always have to take into account what is the perception of professionalism in that environment. And I will bend accordingly or adjust accordingly in order to make sure that I understand the rules and the culture that I am stepping into. So an example of that would be, if I'm speaking at a conference and it's in person and there's 500 people in the audience and it's a professional setting, I am most likely to wear a suit. I did that most recently at UKG's conference in November, where I was a speaker on 2 panels, and you better believe that I wore my suit. I didn't wear a tie, but I did wear a suit and a press shirt. Um, but let's say I'm going to a tech community meetup here in Baltimore, and I know the companies that are hosting it. I kind of get a vibe, and I know the vibe of the Baltimore tech community. I'm going to go in there with jeans and a polo and a blazer, or jeans and a collared shirt and a blazer. Something that is more on brand with my brand, because that's kind of the environment that is also reflective of you can wear, a relaxed dress code. But not everybody's in that space. A lot of people wear uniforms to work, or their specific attire. So it's a big conversation. It's an evolving conversation. But my 2 cents is just that you should dress for success, as long as you are in a role where your ability to elevate and move on to the next thing allows you to, or is somewhat dependent on other people, right? So if you have to impress, if you have to be affirmed by, or if someone has to vouch for your ability to step into a role, you should absolutely continue to dress for success. And the other thing I will say about that too is there's another part of this conversation, which is the diversity component. And with that being the case, sometimes we are unfairly judged if we dress in a manner that is authentic to our culture or heritage, or pays homage to our culture, our lived experiences, our heritage. And I think that is something that has changed a little bit in recent years, but it should be eliminated altogether. I think we should be inviting people to bring a little bit of their culture and heritage and lived experiences into the workplace, so that they can inspire people who also share their culture, lived experiences, and heritage to, wear their style or wear their swag. And I think it's cool. I think it's cool to see people wearing their history, and wearing their heritage. So that's all I have to say on the topic. But make sure you check out that article. It's called "Does Dressing for Success Still Matter?" in the BPC. We have a link in the show notes, so I want to make sure that you pay attention to that.